Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Well, let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from Bikarosa6, who says, "Am I the arsehole for wanting my best friend as my best man, even though he cheated on the maid of honor? My best friend I've known since I was in diapers. We were neighbors throughout high school, went to college together and shared an apartment our last year there. He's been a brother our whole lives. We're both an only child. We've talked about how we'd be each other's best man for as long as I can remember. I don't really have any friends other than him. I'm not very social. 2 years ago, I met the love of my life, my fiance. 1 year into the relationship, friend meets fiance's best friend, maid of honor. Friend and maid of honor start dating. Fiance and I both agree that this might cause complications in our relationship if they have problems, but also acknowledge that we couldn't really do anything about it. What were we going to do? Tell them that they can't date? They were great together, where a maid of honor found him worth giving up, waiting until marriage. A few months ago, I proposed and we were set to be married in a little over a month. I asked friend to be my best man. Fiance asked maid of honor to be maid of honor. 2 weeks ago, friend went out with some other friends and ended up drunk and going home with a girl. He confessed to me the next day and he felt like absolute shit. I told him he's got to confess it to maid of honor. He's fucked up and it's only fair to her. And she'd be a lot more understanding if he tells her himself. He agrees this is the right thing to do. Maid of honor is livid, rightfully so. I come home from work and she's at my apartment. She's packed a bag and asked fiance if she could stay with us to get out of her apartment. I'm fine with this. I can understand she's going through a rough time. 1 week ago, maid of honor decided she can't handle dating anymore and they break up. She's staying with us until she can find another apartment. Fiance tells me that there's no way maid of honor will be able to handle being at the wedding, especially walking down the aisle with friend. I told her they don't need to walk down together or do anything together. But I can't tell him he can't be my best man. It would devastate both of us, as well as leaving me without a best man. Fiance tells me I shouldn't even want to be friends with him anymore, and offers her brother as my best man. She put her foot down on him even being at the wedding. She says that one of them can't be there, and it's not fair for maid of honor to both get cheated on and also not be able to go to the wedding because we chose friend over her. Friend is already devastated that he fucked up his relationship. I hate cheaters, but you don't just turn on your lifelong best friend because he fucked up. I understand that it's very challenging for maid of honor, but I also feel like since this is my wedding, it should be determined by what me and fiance want, and that I shouldn't go through my wedding without a best man because of maid of honor. I also don't think that it should be a choice of one or the other, and they should both come and be professional and avoid each other. Am I the arsehole for standing by having him as my best man? This post in the end was voted no arseholes here. The first commenter said no one's an arsehole here except your best man, but not the point. Maid of honor needs to put her shit aside for the day. This is a day about you and fiance. Do everything you can to separate them. Don't have them walk together, don't have them sit near each other. Opie says thank you. I think I'm going to wait a week to let things simmer. I'm hoping everyone comes to their senses. Commenter says info, you want a cheater at your wedding? Seriously, you want that level of disrespect in your bride's face? Opie says, I want my best friend there. Commenter says, no one's an arsehole here except friend, but I do agree it would be unfair to uninvite him. Personally, I would keep the wedding as it is, with the exception of obvious stuff like them not walking the aisle together. If either of the two can't put their shit aside to one side for one day, that's on them. You and your fiance shouldn't have to pick one or the other or lose a friend over their relationship. Another commenter says you're the arsehole, going against the grain, but yeah, your best friend screwed up big time, and the maid of honor absolutely should not have to walk, dance, whatever with him. That being said, I think there is still room for him to attend the wedding, and possibly even be a groomsman. However, look at this from your fiance's perspective. Your best friend is a cheating bastard, and you're basically defending him. She is very likely wondering if you are going to cheat. You and fiance need to have a serious conversation about this, and see if you can come up with a compromise. 99 Orange replies saying, I disagree. He shouldn't have to ban his lifelong friend from his wedding because of something that has nothing to do with him. I strongly dislike my husband's best friend, but he was still the best man at our wedding. because that's not a choice I get to make. Being married doesn't mean you lose autonomy. I don't know, with the post being a not the arsehole in some of the comments there, I'm questioning my own thoughts on this, but for me, it just felt like, actions have consequences. Your friend's actions have consequences, and if I felt like I was in his position, I'd be stepping down anyway. I wouldn't want to be causing drama in my best friend's wedding of all days, and would understand that it would cause some kind of conflict. And going back again, these were his actions that caused all this. Of course, it's gonna suck not to have your lifelong friend as a best man, but he's the one who created this situation. Gonna be very interested in your comments on this one, but OP comes in with her update and says, supposed to marry months ago, but due to circumstances unrelated to this situation, we've had to push it back until this past weekend. A few days after my post, Maid of Honor moved in with a friend who was looking for a roommate. 2 weeks after she was out, I started having friend over to hang out. Fiancé knew that I was doing this, but I never usually tell her when it exactly is. Fiancé came home from work early one day on my day off, while friend was there having a few drinks with me. This was the first time fiancé had come face to face with friend since their confrontation after the incident. She saw his car and immediately went up to our room. I followed her up there to ask if it was okay that he was over, and while hesitant, she did say it was okay. Asked if she wanted to come down and hang out with us, and she said she was tired and might come down in a bit. I go back, friend asks if he should leave. A bit later, fiancé comes down, grabs a drink and sits with us. She joined the conversation quickly, although I can feel the awkwardness. After a few drinks, the topic of how Maid of Honor is doing comes up. Fiancé says she's doing fine. Fiancé tells friend that she knows he's a good guy even if he fucked up. She admitted wishing that Maid of Honor would look past things to be able to just go on with the wedding ceremony as planned. Fiancé was getting annoyed at the situation and was somewhat hurt that Maid of Honor can't put her personal thoughts aside for her best friend's wedding day. T1 week? Fiancé told Maid of Honor she has until 3 days before the wedding to decide, or she will select a new one. The time passes and fiancé chooses her cousin. The day before the wedding, Maid of Honor calls fiancé in tears about how bad of a friend she feels like and asks if it's too late to still be Maid of Honor. I had my opinions on this, but I recognized it wasn't my place, and fiancé allowed her it. Wedding day came and Maid of Honor called the morning of to tell fiancé she couldn't go through with it. Fiancé was pretty devastated. Luckily, her cousin had gone through rehearsals as Maid of Honor and was happy to fill in. The wedding continued, and I had an uneasy feeling Maid of Honor was going to show up and make a scene, but thankfully she didn't. Her parents were there, close to fiancé, but Maid of Honor wasn't mentioned. Wife is moving on past Maid of Honor and is done with her shit. I think we can both understand how difficult getting cheated on was, but she was given months to decide on whether to stay as Maid of Honor, and she bailed on the day of the wedding. I don't think friend is a shitty person, just made a shitty mistake, and I'm glad that this didn't hurt my new marriage. Thanks for all your advice, support, and criticism. I really think it all helped me grow as a person and view situations from the perspective of others. Commenter says to OP, I don't know, I still think your friend is the arsehole and Maid of Honor got screwed. From her perspective, she gets cheated on and then her best friend picks the cheater over her for the sake of appearances during the wedding. I think it would have been best if your friend got demoted from best man to a regular groomsman, which would have allowed a little more emotional distance. I don't know, I just feel kind of really bad for Maid of Honor, even though she definitely shouldn't have bailed at the last minute after promising to come. OP says thanks for your opinion, I genuinely appreciate it. That commenter replies to OP again saying, if your now wife values her friendship with Maid of Honor, which maybe not judging from the update, I think it'd be worth having a heart-to-heart and apologizing. I'm planning a wedding myself, so I know how stressful it can be. But is it worth losing a friend that your wife cared so deeply about she made her Maid of Honor? I think maybe you guys got so caught up in the details that you kind of treated Maid of Honor like a prop leading up to the wedding and saw her as causing drama, rather than having what happens to be a reasonable emotional response to a tough situation. It's definitely crappy that she bailed at the last minute, no question, but I still think some empathy would go a long way. Good luck. OP says, I definitely don't think it is out of the question. I get how sucky the situation is for Maid of Honor. I just think begging to be Maid of Honor and then bailing the day of the wedding is pretty detrimental for wife. Maybe they can reconcile. I guess I'll see where time takes it. Thanks again. Kill the Great Raven says, I hope Maid of Honor moves on for her own sake. She deserves better friends. Prater says, honestly, both you and your wife sound awful and selfish. Your friend did one of the worst things you can do to someone who trusts you, and he was demoted. I'd never want friends like you. She's probably better off in the long run without you or your wife. Opie added one more final edit and says, thanks for your comments guys, they're eye-opening. I think I didn't put enough effort into viewing this from Maid of Honor's point of view. I realized we didn't treat her the best or how she deserved. I think we were really just focused on our own wedding. While it's one of the most important days of our lives, we were selfish about it. And I hate to say that we may have sacrificed a friend because of it. I just can't stop looking at it from the cheating best friend's point of view in this, that you've got all this drama going on around a wedding because you cheated on the Maid of Honor. And you're not just like, all right, I'm going to step back for your sake, guys. I don't want any drama in your wedding. You are my best friend. And I think it'd be best in this situation if I just take a step back. I caused this, so I think that'd be best for all. I don't know. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. So our next story comes from NameNerd77 and says, Kid's birthday party. Is this normal or am I being entitled? Earlier today, I went to a birthday party for my daughter's 6th friend from school. The party was being held at a Build-A-Bear, but it wasn't run by the employees. We had cake and pizza in the food court, then went down to Build-A-Bear to make bears, then back to a friend's house for the rest of the party. The invitation said each kid, about 8 total, would get to make a bear, and I just assumed they would get to take them home, since that is what happened at another Build-A-Bear party I went to. Me and my husband even pitched in about $30 as we knew these things can get expensive. We get to the store and all the kids go wild, getting their animals and accessories. As far as I know, the parents didn't really put a limit, but I made my daughter stick to just a standard dog with a shirt, which about half the parents did as well. All is well, we leave the store, then friend's mum announces that the kids need to give all their animals to her daughter. Cue the upset and angry kids. They all disappointingly handed over their animals, and friend wasn't even being nice about it either. Another little boy didn't want to, and friend ripped it out of his hands. I probably should have said something, but I didn't. The other parents seemed pretty baffled too. We get back to friend's house, and our kids are watching as friends play with all the new animals. I left with my daughter pretty quickly, and once we got back into the car, she just started bawling. I felt so bad we went to Build-A-Bear and we got her a new one. I'm just wondering if this is totally normal and I should have expected this, or am I being an entitled parent? That's fucked up and that's not normal. I'm literally picturing that scene of letting them bond and personalize their own stuffed animals and forcing them to hand them over to the birthday girl like some kind of stuffed animal tax collector. This is like a plot of a villain origin story. And not that it would have made it any better anyway, but there was no warning about this. The way it felt to me, it just felt like almost deliberate cruelty. Shrimpy asked a question to OP. Did you also buy a present for their kid? I'd honestly consider reaching out to the mum and asking for the money back since your daughter didn't get to keep the bear. You intended to pay because you figured your daughter would be keeping the animal. Depends on how much the $30 and making a point is worth to you, because this is bound to start some drama. I feel bad for the kid though, because no one is going to want to come to their birthday anymore. Yeah, that's a good point as well. OP says, yes, we did get her a present. I talked to one of the other mums whose child was at the party, and she was really upset when her kid came home without a bear. She said she will try talking to her about it at school on Monday. Demeanor says, that is not normal and it's not okay. They didn't give any prior warning. Wow, I would be livid. OP says, nope. To my understanding, the little girl told her friends that they would get to keep their bears. At first, I thought maybe the birthday girl didn't know she'd be given all of them. But judging by her attitude, maybe she did. Another commenter says, this is so bizarre. Poor kids. I would think the Build-A-Bear would be the party favors and activity for the party. OP says, yeah, I thought so too. The kids did get goodie bags after the fact with sunglasses, bubbles, some candy, and their own decorated cupcake. Kid and Trap says, this is very strange indeed. Even the website spells out that there is a special heart ceremony for each bear, and the bear is the favor for each child. OP says, yeah, I really wish they did the party through Build-A-Bear. Instead, they just did it as an extra activity. I don't think the employees even knew a birthday party was going on, honestly. Map says, wait, so did every parent have to pay for their own kid's bear before they were told that they had to give it up? Because what the fuck? on top of an already what the fuck Sunday. OP says, they didn't ask us to pay. I only did as an extra favor. So OP came in with her update and says update to my original post. Not sure how to link it on mobile, but it was about the mum making the kids give their Build-A-Bears up to the birthday girl. This afternoon at school pickup, me and another parent had a chance to talk with the mum of the party. It wasn't a long conversation, but I'll do my best to reenact it here. Mum's fake name will be Karen. Insert awkward small talk here. Karen said, hope the girls enjoyed daughter's party the other day. I know daughter had lots of fun. Other mum said, yeah, I guess I was actually wondering about the whole daughter getting all the bears thing. The kids seemed pretty upset afterwards. Karen said, oh yeah, we wanted daughter to have a special animal decorated by each of her friends. I said, oh, okay, I was just wondering why the kids didn't get to keep their bears. I even pitched in a little money, assuming the bears would go to the kids. Karen said, well, I didn't have enough money for each of the guests to make their own. That'd be pretty expensive. If you want your money back, I'll see about getting it back to you. I don't really see the problem though. I said, okay, well, the kids were forced to give away their new creations. Obviously, they're going to be upset about it. I also don't see why your daughter needs all these animals. Karen didn't respond and walked away right after, probably offended. What bothers me is she said she didn't have enough money for all the kids to have one, but she did have enough for her daughter to get like 8 bears. Just doesn't really make sense. Now I admit, I'm not the most confrontational person, so I probably should have talked to her more about it. Anyway, I guess we sort of worked it out. No one's fighting, so I'm not sure I'm going to mention it to her again. Sorry this wasn't the most satisfying ending, but thanks for all the love and support. It means a lot. A commenter says, this is direct from the Build-A-Bear website. Just pick the package that fits your budget and invite your guests. Build-A-Bear Workshop does the rest. We provide a party leader who will guide the fun with hands-on activities and games, and each guest creates the best party favor ever. Their own furry friend to bring home and love. And then says, Karen is a skank. Aiden says, so this is why they didn't have a Build-A-Bear actually host the party, because Build-A-Bear wouldn't have allowed her to be this greedy with the bears. And Teddy says, as a former Build-A-Bear employee, I can confirm we would not have let that shit fly. Miss Panda Bear says, I remember when this was originally posted. Feel bad for this little girl. No one will want to come to her next birthday party. I know I'd feel wary of dealing with these parents. These parents are probably entitled and thinks the world revolves around them and their little girl. Of course, their little girl's friends would be happy to give up their Build-A-Bear. It would make their little girl so happy. Nightmare Joe will reply saying, the sad thing is that this could work if the invitation had said that the kids would design a bear for the birthday girl and also have the opportunity to design and purchase their own bear. But the way they did it was deliberately cruel. No, it's not that Jessica says, I would not. I would have walked away with my kid and her bear, and God forbid someone take away a kid's toy in front of me or they'll see what's up. If they have the audacity, then I have the audacity. That's been my motto for a few years now. I quite like that. If that woman has the audacity to demand all the bears back and rip it off a kid's hand, then I have the audacity to put her in her place right then and there. The nerve of some people. And one more comment from Bisto. I know with the exception of OP that this Karen paid for the bears for her kid. Yet it's still incredibly mean-spirited that you would allow kids to dress up a bear and not tell them they wouldn't keep it after. I have a 5-year-old niece who is attached at the hip to another girl from school, but they like different things and have different personalities. Had she been told beforehand to make the bear for her friend, she would have decorated it in a way that made it fun for her friend instead of what she likes, which is princesses and sparkly things. Her, on the other hand, she loves the color green because she loves the Incredible Hulk, and red and blue for Spider-Man. Her uncle has taught her well, so her bear would be totally different from the one she'd make for her best friend. Also, the idea of a Build-A-Bear birthday is really cool. We have a few in the UK, so I might recommend it to my sister actually for my niece. Lol. The whole situation is just batshit crazy, you know, even if in the invitation it said you're going to be making a bear to give to the birthday girl, and she's making one herself. I mean, first of all, who needs 8 bears from Build-A-Bear? I'm saying that with a grin because my nieces and nephews have got like 1 million teddies, but it does seem wild that 8 bears from Build-A-Bear, and even if it was on the invitation that you're going to hand the bears over to the birthday, these kids are 6. They're 6 years old. As soon as they design these bears the way they want, they're going to become attached to them. Like one of the comments said, I feel sorry for Karen's daughter as well, because like in the future years, people are going to second guess going to that kid's birthday party again. And it wasn't the kid's fault. They're 6. The absolute logic of some people, man. But holy moly, what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.